Kate Dimmer here, just going to give you some really quick ideas of things to include in a healthy diet. So first thing I want you to focus on is choosing whole foods rather than processed foods. So processed foods are foods that have been changed in some way, and this could be something as simple as something being chopped up, which is obviously fine and doesn't really take away the nutrition of the food. But if something's been heavily processed and has a list of ingredients on the side of its packet, and something doesn't look in its natural state, then those foods are lower in nutrients. So often they've been stripped of their fibre and they've been stripped of their nutrients in the processing. And in addition to that, when foods have been processed, not only are they lower in nutrients and have been stripped of their fibre and their nutrients, but they've also, some of them have had things added to them that you wouldn't necessarily want to eat. So extra sugar, sweeteners, starches, fillers and preservatives. So the first thing is to choose whole foods. And whole foods, like I said, are foods in their natural state. So we're talking about a whole apple or a whole banana or vegetables, fresh vegetables and salads, things that haven't really been changed that much from their natural state. This also includes really good quality fish and seafood and meat and nuts and seeds and pulses. So things that have come in their natural state and they haven't really been changed that much. So that's the first thing, is to choose whole foods. The second thing to include in your healthy diet is obviously fruit and vegetables, which I'm sure you're really familiar with. The idea with this is because there's so many nutrients in these in fruit and vegetables, including antioxidants, which help to fight free radicals produced in the body. And also these nutrients are used for so many things: repair, growth. There's too many for me to go into today, but the way that we can achieve that is to try and have variety. Variety is the absolute key to healthy eating. So try and have as many different types of vegetable as you can. So don't just get stuck with your broccoli and your carrots every day. See if you can try and vary it, and also see if you can vary the colours, because the colours all contain different properties. So there's different levels of antioxidants, there's different compounds in the different coloured vegetables. So when people say eat a rainbow, it's because the different colours of vegetables have different properties. It's always important to have plenty of green vegetables, because these are the ones that often have the highest levels of some of these nutrients like folic acid or folate and magnesium and so on. But equally, it's really important to get all the orange ones and the red ones and so on. So that's the second thing, is to have plenty of fruit and vegetables. And I would just add that it's better to have more vegetables and fruit because of the fructose in fruit. What we tend to suggest is having about 5 portions of vegetables a day, and then 2 portions of fruit rather. The third thing to include in a balanced diet then would be some really healthy fats. This is confusing for people. People associate fat with with gaining fat and being fattening, but that isn't the case at all, because our bodies process fats in a different way to the way that they process sugar. So although fat has more calories, our bodies use it differently. And our bodies really need fat. It's extremely important for hormone balance, for brain and neurological health. And also without fat, you can't absorb some of the essential vitamins. So vitamin D, vitamin A, E and K have to have fat in the diet for them to be absorbed. So good sources of fat then, healthy sources are from olive oil is one of the best, olives, avocados, nuts and seeds, quality oily fish, and you also do get fat from good quality meat and things as well. Avocados are really good sources of fat as well, and coconut oil and flaxseed. Unhealthy sources of fat would be like refined vegetable oils, things like sunflower or just vegetable oil, particularly oils that have been heated. So those are the things to avoid in terms of fat. And then proteins. Proteins are really important for repair, but they're also really important for things like bone health and keeping us full, really useful for weight management. Just so essential for forming up the neurotransmitters in our head, so in our brain, so really important for mood. So generally, don't be cutting out any of these things. So protein, really important to get enough of that in the diet. So good sources of protein, starting with the animal protein, would be really good quality fish. So wild caught fish, oily fish like salmon, sardines, herring, mackerel, anchovies, tuna occasionally. Also really good quality meat. So meat that's been reared in a sort of grass-fed, free range meat is good, and seafood as well in general. And then you've got your plant-based protein. Actually, you've also got dairy. For those people who do tolerate dairy, and not everybody does, whole milk dairy produce like cheeses and also goat's cheese and sheep's cheese as well. And then the plant-based proteins, you've got pulses like lentils, and then things like beans like kidney beans and cannellini beans. They can be really useful sources of protein. There is some protein in rice and quinoa as well, but the protein that we get from plant materials is just a little bit harder for our bodies to break down, and there's slightly less in there. Another really good source of protein, which I recommend people have regularly, is our eggs. And again, quality is important, so try and aim for free range, and if your budget allows, free range organic eggs, because the quality of the nutrients in those eggs will be superior. So that's your proteins. And then lastly, carbohydrates. And carbohydrates is a very big topic, but just to say that we need some carbohydrates, although they're not as essential as the other nutrients, but particularly important for providing us with fiber for looking after our gut bacteria. So obviously the fruits and vegetables are sources of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates do more than just give us energy and fiber. They also do help with some hormone production and so on. So the best types of carbohydrates are your natural sources like whole food, fruits and vegetables, and whole grains. So that's just a quick start from me, and I'll be back another time with talking about some more information for you.